You ever notice how these so-called news networks somehow always land on the same exact word? Ambush over and over again. CNN, MSNBC, NBC. Is it likely that they were handed the same script?
To the dramatic scene in the Oval Office today, the tense confrontation, President Trump ambushing the president of South Africa.
Up next, another Oval Office meltdown. President Trump ambushing the president of South Africa.
President Trump is being accused of conducting something of a diplomatic ambush of South Africa's president in the Oval Office.
To be with you, I'm Katie Tur. President Trump orchestrated another Oval Office ambush today.
Today, Donald Trump meeting with the president of South Africa and attempting to ambush and humiliate that leader.
Zelensky territory, where essentially he was a bit ambushed inside the Oval Office.
Felt like an ambush in there, kind of like the President Zelensky meeting in the Oval Office.
This was an ambush. It was orchestrated.
Ramaphosa brought his best diplomatic self to this meeting, but nothing could have prepared him for this multimedia ambush.
What started as, to some degree, an ambush.
Well, Katie, I mean, it was an ambush.
Ambush.
Ambushed. Ambush.
An ambush.
Ambushing.
Ambushed inside the Oval Office.
Wow, man. The weird part is you're used to legacy media and the Democrats being upset because they're accusing Trump of lying. But they're not mad because Trump was lying. He wasn't, by the way. They were mad because he literally brought the truth. Like, right to the front porch. Get this. They asked Trump the question. Ramaphosa decided to answer it for him. And he said that, hey, you basically implied that there's no genocide happening. Trump decided to just play the footage. Come on, man. Now, you see how they trying to do this full-blown narrative sinkage type deal? And they keep saying ambush. But what they really mean is Trump didn't play that game. He played his. Now, y'all remember Trump confronted Ramaphosa, but this is him confronting him right to his face. This is a clip, a section that we didn't get to in the previous video. Check it out.
He was saying, even in the parliament, and they're a small minority party, which is allowed to exist in terms of our constitution.
But you do allow them to take land.
No.
You do allow them to take land.
Nobody can take land.
And then when they take the land, they kill the white farmer. And when they kill the white farmer, nothing happens to them.
No, there is
nothing happens to them.
There is criminality in our country. People who do get killed, unfortunately through criminal activity, are not only white people. Majority of them are black people. And we have now
the farmers are black. The farmers are not black. I don't say that's good or bad, but the farmers are not black. And the people that are being killed in large numbers, and you saw all those grave sites, and those are people that loved ones going, I guess on a Sunday morning, they told me, to pay respect to their loved ones that were killed. Their heads chopped off. They died violently. And we're here to talk about it, and I didn't know we'd get involved here. But I will say this, that if the news wasn't fake, like NBC, which is fake news, totally, one of the worst, ABC, NBC, CBS, horrible. But if they weren't fake news like this jerk that we have here, if we had real reporters, they'd be covering it. But the fake news in this country doesn't talk about that. They don't want to talk about it, but now they have to talk about it. But they won't. This won't even be a subject. They'll have him talking about why did a country give a free, think of this, why did a country give an airplane to the United States Air Force? Okay? The United States, not to me, to the United States Air Force.
Okay. Oh, man. First of all, you see, Trump didn't sugarcoat it. He didn't try to wheel him in all nicely and smooth. And this is what these fragile Americans want. We want to be coddled. They want to be, you want to talk like that. No. And he didn't even talk to him recklessly. He just didn't sugarcoat it. He said, you let them take land, and when they kill the white farmer, nothing happens. And you see Ramaphosa, he tried to pivot. He tried to. Said some talking about how crime affects everybody, but Trump still stood firm. and pretty much said, hey, it ain't about the stats. It's about the selective outrage we seeing. Okay? We see people are being targeted, and everybody staying silent because of the color of their skin. That's the problem. And for everybody, left-wing media keeps saying this is all made up. Like, come on, man. Like, Trump brought the receipts.
But we are starting with this whiteness. We are cutting the throat of whiteness. Shoot, kill, Gaza, kill the poor, the farmer, kill the poor, the farmer. Shoot to kill, Gaza. But we are starting with this whiteness.
If you're just looking at the footage, I mean, Trump brought them receipts, okay? And he was showing in the video Julius Melma and EFF, I believe, and they're chanting "Kill the boy, kill the farmer," and yeah, you can see the South African administration, boy, they looking like they wanted to sink into them chairs. They didn't even want to look at that screen. It was hard for me to even have to listen to it again. But, I mean, you don't avoid the truth unless you somehow ashamed. And I think Trump flipped the script. This time, they weren't the ones that, they weren't the ones sitting back watching. Or who had to watch, rather. Hopefully y'all get where I was going with that. All right. I want y'all to see this clip that's been going viral on TikTok. It's some real talk, man. It's somebody who actually gets it, okay? Y'all peep this.
It's funny because a lot of y'all keep asking, are you still happy with your vote? You voted for Trump. Are you still happy? Well, if you look at what happened today in the White House, unequivocally, yes. So the South African president sat down with the president of the United States, Donald Trump, and they were talking about trade and all that. And Donald Trump was like, y'all got to stop this genocide that's happening to white folk in South Africa, which is happening. And the guy tries to deny it. They try to say that that's not happening. Then Trump pulls out a TV and shows him his own government calling for the extermination of white folk. That is a boss move if I've ever seen one. So, yes, this is exactly what we voted for. We want fairness for everybody. It's not right that white people are being attacked in South Africa. Two wrongs don't make a right. Amen. You can't make up for evil with more evil. And I'm proud to say I voted for this man 3 times.
Oh, man. Hold on. I'm trying to get the mic the way it needs to be. Okay. I'm probably about right here. Nah, man. Trump pulled the TV out. Said, blue. Okay. And he also said, that's a real boss move. Hey, chess move, if you ask me, I think he played that hand perfect. And also, like how he said that we want fairness for everybody because you can't fix evil with evil, I think he said. And that's straight facts. You can't fight racism with more racism. You can't solve injustice by pretending one side does not matter at all. It's just not how this works, okay? But the media continues to ignore genocide, and they want to focus on the airplane, y'all.
Trump calling out the South African president in real time in front of the media is exactly why we put him in office. And what's really disturbing is the fact that NBC sat there, listened to everything, watched the video, and was like, hey, what about the airplane, though? What do you mean, what about the airplane? Like, your guy's the one who negotiated for the airplane. We're just taking delivery of it. You didn't have a problem with it then. Media, it's unfortunate because media is so far gone. The only people still listening to it are my grandparents. You know what I mean? And it's sad because inevitably this app will probably go by the wayside. It's already getting nerfed left and right. It's definitely not what it was. But good God, man, like, have a pair to talk about the elephant in the room. Like, the South African government is outright calling for the almost the extinction and the slaughter of a race of people just because of the color of their skin. And you want to worry about an airplane?
Yeah, man. NBC literally sat there through all that tension. They watched the footage. They seen the evidence, the history. And when all that was over, hey, Mr. President, what about the airplane? You can't make this up. You can't make this type of stuff up. He just showed you clips of their leaders calling for death. And you want to talk about a luxury jet, bro. This is the place in the world that we've come to. Man, legacy media is so out of touch. Get out of touch. They out of their minds, bro. Y'all think I'm playing? Watch them sit here and try to defend it. CNN anchor explains the chant, "Kill the board," as symbolic. Here they go. Trying to play cleanup, y'all.
Explaining that this is not true. What the videos show is Julius Malema, the far left opposition leader of South Africa. His party is called the Economic Freedom Fighters, and it also showed former President Jacob Zuma. What Julius Malema was singing, "Kill the Boer, Kill the Farmer," was an anti-apartheid song from the struggle against white minority rule in South Africa. They've explained that this is not a literal attack, call to attack and kill the farmer because of the historical nature of that. But it's been weaponized by groups in South Africa and increasingly by the MAGA right in the United States to essentially misrepresent what is going on in the country, Brianna.
It also of note, Larry, can you
explain?
Man, this is just BS. Now, I won't say act like I know all the history of South Africa and everything. You know, I don't know. But that was just beat. You saying "kill the boy" is symbolic. I think he said it's a part of the anti-apartheid struggle. But let's just be real. Let's just be real transparent for a second, okay? Let's just put it on the even land field. If anybody else says something that extreme, that wouldn't be a symbolic pass to give. Ain't nobody going, there'll be literal riots. Press conferences. But because it's targeting white South Africans, it's poetry. If it was us, it's genocide. If it's them, it's poetry. That's not how it works, man. We're going to call it for what it is. That's not how it works. We're going to read a few of these comments, though. What an absolute clown show. CNN is a failed media hub for the loony left. James Earl Jones used to speak the name strongly. Now it's Dylan Mulvaney or some other poster child of the progressive left. And their squealing voice saying, "This is CNN." White South Africans yelling victim as the majority of the country. What? That's quite literally impossible unless the minority hold control and power over the minority. What? They are delusional and definitely know it's happening while trying to claim we are misinterpreting their actual words. Fake news does nothing but lie and cover up criminal behavior. I don't understand, man. I honestly feel like the level of delusion on the left should be studied. Seriously, I mean, look at these words, final words from Scott Jennings right here, man. He did not hold back whatsoever. A CNN panelist tried to dismiss concerns that white African farmers in South Africa are being targeted, despite the footage.
I think the South African president initially came to the meeting, and you actually saw him try to extend some olive branches. He tried to direct the conversation to trade, to critical minerals. He brought golfers that he knew the president would listen to, if not listening to his delegation that was presented there. And then when a reporter did ask about these false claims of white genocide, you also saw him try to explain the reality on the ground in his country that President Trump then dismissed. You saw him basically say, and that the data backs this up. Police statistics in South Africa do show that on the subject of killings, there are not mass killings of white South Africans in South Africa. There have been gruesome killings of white farmers, individual cases of that. But
I'm saying we just watched the video. I just seen the video. Trump played a video of at least 1,000 or around 1,000, hundreds of dead people, family members, or farmers of the farmers. I mean, farmers or family members of the farmers.
The police data shows that right now that white South Africans are not killed at a higher rate than any other South African. There is a broad crime problem in South Africa. That is very different than a claim of genocide. Then there's the issue of land. Well, under apartheid, that apartheid-led government made it very, very difficult, almost impossible for black people to own farmland. So now you've seen this law passed earlier this year by the South African government that, yes, would
I don't know what happened. Y'all give it a second.
Take land, but it's subject to judicial review as well. And it has to be in the public interest. So there's a lengthy process. It's not just like you're confiscating land as well. That nuance also has not been articulated by President Trump here. So you have these two issues, these two false claims. And this meeting, in a way, was the culmination of, for years now, these lobbyists of these Afrikaner groups have been traveling to Washington, talking to Republicans, also talking to this White House that has given them time, actually told us in a piece, described them as civil rights leaders as well. And you're seeing the culmination of that lobbying campaign and the amplifying of these false descriptions of the reality on the ground in this country.
How do you see?
Okay, y'all. He was able to get what he needed to say out. He even broke the screen for a little while. But listen to what Scott Jennings had to say. He did not hold back.
Scott?
Well, look, whether you call it a genocide or not, the facts are white farmers in South Africa have been murdered. A lot of people have tried to cover this up. A lot of people in, I think, media in the United States have tried to cover it up. Obviously, the South African government doesn't want to talk about it, so it was kind of a boss move for Donald Trump to roll that television in there today. And I think even the agriculture minister in the Oval Office confirmed that these people are, in fact, being murdered. So my question is, if it's not a genocide today, how many do we want to let get murdered so that people around here can be satisfied? Okay, now it's a genocide. Let's let a few more. I don't understand. We're talking about 50-something people they were trying to let in, and everybody's losing their mind after we let in 20 million illegal immigrants over the last several years. The president is trying to prevent genocide from happening any further to these people. They are clearly being discriminated against. Some have been murdered. This was an interesting spectacle in the Oval Office today, but it had to happen because I don't think anybody was telling the truth about it.
Amen to that, man. And there's the thing. How many more people need to die before this qualifies for the left? Like, does it, hundreds ain't enough? Why isn't the line moving? No. Why is the finish line, or no, I guess I was saying it right. Why is the line always moving when it comes to white people? Trump called it out. They didn't like it. And the world had to listen despite that. It's bigger than headlines, man. It's about the truth being brought to the light. The media wants to stay quiet, but we ain't doing that. We ain't doing that. Thank y'all for, joining another video. Be safe, please. Go check on somebody today. You can quite literally be saving their life. Peace.